Hello, BSc fourth term students. So I'm in front of you after a long time. So, as per the direction of Education Board of Karnataka State and direction from the KLE Society, we are going to conduct online classes for all even SEM, that is second, fourth, and sixth semester. As a part of this, we have certain topics to discuss for you. For BSc fourth semester, particularly for organic aldehyde ketones, carboxylic acids, esters, and epoxides. These are the few topics mentioned, and all the topics are little bit very interesting, having a lot of mechanism and synthetic part. Now my interest is, I would like to take the first topic, aldehydes and ketones, as far as your syllabus concerned. So before I start, let me remind you the conditions of the present situation. The situation is very hard. It is very difficult to survive on this earth for human beings because of the pandemic situation caused by the virus. Virus is modifying. First stage is gone. This is second year. Second stage, we are in the second stage, and we maybe moving towards the third stage also. So to keep ourselves in good health condition, we have to use mask compulsorily, stay at home as far as possible, and social distance is a very compulsory part of our day-to-day life. So this is the reason why we are forced to take online classes, though there is no interaction with you people. But if you have any doubt, any queries regarding the chemistry theory, either it may be my portion or some other portion, so I request all of you to take the help of all our concerned teacher and make best use of the online classes. I'm not sure that 100% satisfaction will be there for our online classes, but it is inevitable for you and me to conduct the online classes and convince the subject to the students. It is our duty to convince you as far as possible. So let us hope that you will have a sufficient knowledge regarding the topics yet to come in online classes. So all my young friends, I would like to inform you one more point. After going through this video, please through YouTube, or some my friends are doing the Zoom classes also. So after that, I request all of you, give your attendance. It is a compulsory, or it is called a mandatory, just by clicking your roll number and name in the comment box without fail. And I insist, why the attendance is compulsory is, university has made a compulsion of more than 80% theory attendance, either it may be online or offline. So as far as possible, let us you go through our subject videos, particularly chemistry subject videos, and send your presence by writing your roll number and your name in the index box. So with this idea, now let me move to my topic, aldehydes and ketones. So as far as the syllabus concerned, here there are some specific syllabus mentioned for you is nomenclature, structure, bonding, preparation from acid chlorides and from acid nitrites for aldehydes and ketones. Then mechanism of nucleophilic addition reaction of HCN to aldehydes and ketones. Then acyl formation with alcohol and ethylene glycol. Then there are certain mechanisms they have mentioned. The first one is aldol condensation. Second one is a Kennesaw reaction. Third one is a Claisen-Schmidt reaction. And the fourth one is Kennesaw reaction. Sorry, it is a Perkin reaction. And the next one is benzene condensation. Then Beer-Wheeler oxidation of ketones. And the seventh one is Mannich reaction. So we will discuss all these reactions with mechanism. Moreover, the two syntheses of aldehydes ketones connected is one is coumarin and another is vanillin. So these are there for your syllabus. Now with this small introduction, let me go to introduce about what are aldehydes and ketones. Now for this, let us see this general structure, what I have represented. A carbonyl group C double bond O with two valencies left. These two valencies may be connected either with R, H, R, R or both H and H. So what I mean to say is, carbonyl group is a functional group where carbon is connected with oxygen with a sigma and pi bond, and the remaining two valency of the carbonyl group are satisfied by either alkyl group or aryl group or hydrogen atoms. So based on this, we have two types of carbonyl compounds. If the carbonyl group is satisfied with R and H, one R may be alkyl or aryl group and H is a hydrogen, then it is called as a aldehyde. In another case, there is no hydrogen but it is also R, RCOR, it is a ketone. So depending upon the type of the valency satisfied by the carbonyl group, we can classify aldehydes and ketones. So aldehydes are the compounds wherein the carbonyl functional group is linked with an alkyl group or aryl group and hydrogen. If both hydrogen is a simple formaldehyde. Okay, if R is equal to CH3, acetaldehyde. If R is equal to benzene ring, it is a benzaldehyde. So all these contain COH with R. Suppose if the two functional groups are R and R, for example CH3, COCH3, the simplest is acetone. Okay, then ethyl methyl ketone, etc. Or a benzene ring is there, then that is the acetophenone. So all these derived on the basis of the type of the functional group attached to the carbonyl valencies. So in general, I would like to say that organic compound containing a carbonyl functional group C double bond O with the other two bonds satisfied by either alkyl group or hydrogen atom, or the two alkyl groups or two aryl groups, are collectively called as aldehydes and ketones. In general, aldehydes are the compounds containing an alkyl group and hydrogen atom, while ketones are the compounds wherein alkyl or aryl groups are directly attached to the carbonyl group. So this is the simplest idea that you have learnt in your PUC, just you recall your memory. Then now directly I move on to nomenclature. Nomenclature means naming of the compound. So whenever the new baby is born, then it is said that it should be named properly. So like this, when the organic compounds were discovered in a laboratory, then it should be named properly. So the naming is generally done by two ways. One is by a common method and second one is by UPAC system. So as you know, UPAC system is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemists. So in 1961 at Geneva, there was a convention held to name the organic compound properly. So 1961 onwards, the naming is done in a systematic way. So aldehydes, so generally they have been named according to the derivative of carboxylic acids. For example, formic acid, the OIC acid is replaced by aldehyde, formaldehyde. Okay, so that was the earlier nomenclature done according to the common method. But as the IUPAC naming of aldehydes is done by simplest way, by replacing the E of long chain hydrocarbon by Al. For example, alkane E is replaced by Al, alkanal. So alkanals are the common name for open chain aldehydes. So the nomenclature of aldehydes according to the IUPAC system is alkanals. And in case of aromatic compounds, what they have retained is benzaldehyde. It is a benzene ring with CHO group, C6H5COH. It is a benzaldehyde, simplest. So whatever the functional group attached to the benzene, they have been treated and then they have been named accordingly by ortho, para, meta, etc. position. So in general, what I want to say is aldehydes, that too aliphatic, are named as alkanals, and aldehydes aromatic, they have named as a benzaldehyde or it's a derivative. Now I have given some specific example in connection with this. So let us see CH2O, that is the two valency is satisfied by hydrogen. It is called as formaldehyde commonly, but according to the IUPAC system, there is only one carbon, methane. The methane E is replaced by Al, so methanol. So methanol is a name for CH2 C double bond O. Similarly, CH3CHO, it is two carbon atoms, ethanol. Or ethanol, sorry, not ethanol, it is ethanol. So it is also called as acetaldehyde. Then if you see the four carbon atoms, 1, 2, 3, 4, an example, butane. Butane E is replaced by OL, butanol. Suppose the carbon chain containing CHO group having some functional group in the carbon chain, like CH3 or X, something like functional group. Then they can be indicated with a proper number. So the numbering is done in a proper way. So as already you have noticed. So CH3, CH3, CHO. So CHO is always number 1, and next to that is 2, next to that is 3, 4, so on and so forth. So in this example, whatever the structure we have represented is CH3, CH3, CHO. It is on second position there is a 2 methyl group, so it is called the 2-methyl propane or propanol. Propane E is replaced by Al. So this is the way in which the aldehydes can be named in open chain system. In case of cyclic, benzene ring containing CHO, that is C double bond O, H, the another valency satisfied benzene ring. So complex, simplest name is benzaldehyde. Okay, so benzaldehyde is the simplest name for aromatic aldehydes. Now in this compound, let us see the another compound I have shown here. So here there are two functional groups are present on the benzene ring. One is chlorine, another is methyl. Therefore, you start with COH as a number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at 3 position there is a chlorine and 5 position there is a methyl group. So 3-chloro-5-methyl benzaldehyde, that is the proper name for your aldehydes. Now moving with this, let us see in case of ketones. In ketones, the UPAC system, the ketones are named as replacing alkane E by ONE, NON. Okay, so they are named as alkanones. Alkane E is replaced by ONE, alkanones. Okay, where the name of the alkyl group or aryl group, or it may be diaryl or diketo compound as per the group attached to the particular aldehydes or ketones, is named systematically by using the ONE, alkanone. For example, CH3, COCH3, CH3, COCH3. So it contains a simplest compound of a ketone type, is commonly known as a acetone. But if you want to write the name of the acetone according to the UPAC system, it contains 1, 2, 3 carbons. Therefore, E is replaced by ONE. So it is called as propanone. Okay. So that you can see with another example, CH3, CH2, COCH3. There are 4 carbon, it is a butane. And at the second position, there is a carbonyl group, it is called as a 2-butanone, or it is also referred as the 2 valencies of the carbonyl group. One is satisfied by CH3, another is satisfied by C2H5. So it is called as a ethyl methyl ketone. It is a common name, but according to the UPAC system, 2-butanol is the correct name. Now you can see the another example, CH3, CH2, CO, CH2, CH3. That means the carbonyl group is attached with C2H5 one side and another valency is C2H5. So this is what diethyl ketone is commonly known. But if you want to name according to the UPAC system, you count the number of carbon atoms. There is a parent hydrocarbon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is a pentane. And at the third position, there is a ketonic group. It is called a 3-pentanone. Okay. So this is how the naming of the ketones can be done. Similarly, you can see another example, CH3CO, CH2, CH2, CH3. One side there is a CH3 group, another side there is a C3H7, that is a propyl group. So methyl N-propyl ketone is the common name of this compound. But if you want to write according to the UPAC system, it is named as, at the 2 position CO group, as a 2-pentanone. Now similarly, if you are interested to write the aromatic ketones, so here for this naming, simply you have to remember RCO, C6H5. They are named according to the UPAC system as phenone. That is, whatever the R group is there, it may be aromatic or aliphatic. The COC6H5, that is called the phenone functional group, and the group alkyl aryl attached to it can be named accordingly. So I have given some example here, so you can see. The first one is acetophenone, that is C double bond O, CH3, C6H5. CH3 is called as a methane. CO is a ketonic group and C6H5 is phenyl group. So if you want to name according to the UPAC system, it can be named as phenyl methanone because there are 2 carbon atoms. Phenyl ethanone. Or you can write it as a methyl phenyl ketone. That is a common name and is also commonly referred as acetophenone. But according to the UPAC system, you see there are 2 carbon atoms, CH3CO. Therefore, it is a ethane. ethanone, and benzene ring is attached, therefore it is called as a phenylethanone. Similarly, you can see another structure, cyclohexane, containing C double bond group. So it is called as a not cyclohexane, cyclohexanone. Cyclohexanone. Okay. So similarly, if the C double bond O group is attached with the two valencies by benzene ring, it is also called as a diphenylethanone as a common name or UPAC name. Or in general, for our convenience, we refer this as a benzophenone. So benzo indicates C6H5, phenone indicates C6H5CO. So C6H5CO is attached with the C6H5, that is called as a benzophenone, or it is commonly referred as diphenylethanone. So these are the certain way in which you can name aldehydes and ketones. So for this, so let me again remind you, aldehydes, ketones can be named both in common name as well as in UPAC name. So according to the UPAC name, aldehydes are named as alkanols and ketones are named as alkanones. And in case of aldehydes, if aromatic ring is there, it is named as a benzaldehyde or its derivatives. In case of ketones, there is an aromatic ring attached to the carbonyl group, then that carbonyl group with C6H5 is called as a C6H5 is called as a benzophenone. Okay, or in generally it's called as a phenone. So please remember the naming. Then now we move on to preparation of aldehydes. As per your syllabus, there are two methods they have mentioned. One is from acid chloride, second is from alkyl nitriles. So we will move one by one. Let us see the first one. Preparation from acid chlorides. RCOCl. RCOCl is acid chloride. When it is subjected for reduction, the RC double bond OHCl, where Cl is replaced as HCl and instead of that H is added, that is a reduction takes place. So reduction is a process in which the hydrogen atom is added to the compound, organic compound. So usually there are certain reducing agents like zinc HCl or lithium aluminum hydride or copper zinc amalgam in acids. So there are variety of reducing agents available, but I have mentioned is reduction by zinc HCl, where the two hydrogens are there. So one is added to the COH and another is the replacement of HCl. Okay, so this is a preparation of aldehydes from acid chlorides, RCOCl to an aldehyde. Now aldehydes can be prepared by hydrogenation of acid chlorides in presence of palladium supported by or barium sulfate. So RCOCl, when treated with PbBaSO4, another reducing agent, whereby it will be get converted into the Cl is replaced as HCl and you will get aldehyde. Okay, a specific example I have given is acetaldehyde, CH3COCl. So it is an acetyl chloride. When treated or subjected for reduction, it will be converted into acetaldehyde by replacing H by HCl. Similarly, the another method is using nitriles. So nitriles means cyano group is a nitrile group. RCN, it is an alkyl nitrile. When it is treated with the Grignard reagent and subjected for subsequent hydrolysis, it will produce aldehyde. Okay, so now let us see this particular reaction a little bit enlarged scale. CH3CH2CN, it is a cyano compound. It's called as propionitrile. When treated with RMGX, that is a methyl magnesium chloride, a Grignard reagent. Here Mg plus 2, Cl minus and CH3 is also minus. So magnesium plus 2 is attached with Cl minus and CH3 minus. So these functional groups are there. And C triple bond N, triple bond is usually undergo opening reaction because of a lone pair of electron, pi electron easily openable. Therefore C will get plus and N will get minus. Now you can see what kind of product maybe we are getting. So you can see here CH3, CH2, C, that is a carbon, with the opening of the double bond makes the nitrogen to have positive charge, and carbon with negative charge. Therefore CH3 attached to the carbon and the MgCl attached to the nitrogen. When this subject is subjected for hydrolysis, so that MgCl will be replaced and you will get hydrogen attached. That is MgCl will be removed as MgOHCl, and CH3, CH2, CH3 double bond NH. So this on subsequent hydrolysis, when you subject it for hydrolysis, C double bond N, so ammonia will be eliminated and your C double bond carbonyl group get introduced. That means butane 2-one will going to form. So this is how the acid chloride reaction, acid hydrolysis of nitro compound to corresponding ketone aldehydes will be done. Now similarly, when you move on to the preparation of ketones, as already I have quoted here, preparation of ketone by acid chloride, that is a Friedel-Crafts reaction, is a very well familiar reaction for you. Benzene, when treated with an acetyl chloride CH3COCl in presence of anhydrous aluminum chloride, condition is very, very important. So without anhydrous calcium or anhydrous aluminum chloride, this reaction is not possible. Therefore, when it is done, then the one of the H of the benzene ring is replaced by Cl as HCl, and COCH3 group attaches to give acetophenone. So this is the simplest example that you have learned in your earlier PUC classes. Moving this, preparation of ketones by alcohols by oxidation. Okay, preparation of ketones by alcohols by oxidation method. Okay, now you can start with a alcohol RCHOHR. RCHOHR. It is an alcohol. It is a particularly secondary alcohol. Secondary alcohol when subjected for oxidation. Well, so you may ask, what is oxidation? Oxidation is addition of oxygen by various oxidizing agent. So I have mentioned some of the oxidizing agent. It may be chromic acid, or it may be sodium thiosulfate, or it may be potassium thiosulfate, or it may be a polymer PCC. Okay, so when secondary alcohol is subjected for oxidation by using chromic oxide, then what happens? Or chromic acid even, it will give RCOR dash and with the removal of water molecule. Okay, so this gives a conversion of secondary alcohol into ketone. The another example is when you take 4-ter butyl cyclohexanol. It is a benzene ring having benzene type ring, but it is not a benzene, it is a cyclohexane. It is OH containing OH cyclohexanol. When it is subjected for oxidation under using PCC, the COH group will be converted into the corresponding ketone. Okay, it is another example. Now keeping all these in mind, let us move to the another aspect of the aldehydes and ketones. So as already you have noticed, this is a particular functional group, that is both aldehydes and ketones are characterized by C double bond O with two valencies. Okay, and the oxygen present on the carbonyl group is called as carbonyl oxygen, and the carbon atom where the oxygen is attached is called as a carbonyl carbon. Okay, so as far as the knowledge of the hybridization concerned, let us see the carbon containing the two alkyl groups having pi bond on the carbon. When the third valency of the carbon is connected with the oxygen to form a sigma bond, and oxygen is also possessing a lone pair of unpaired electron and a lone pair of electron and unhybridized p orbital, and these p orbital get overlapped to form a pi bond. So here there is a sp2 carbon containing carbon with R and R dash, and the unhybridized p orbital is present on the carbon. When the such carbon is having a link with oxygen to form a sigma bond, and the oxygen is also possessing the p orbital which is unhybridized. These will going to overlap, and whereby there is a formation of RCOR C double bond O. So in case of carbonyl compound, there are 1, 2, 3 sigma bonds and 1 pi bond, and the carbonyl group contains 1 sigma bond and 1 pi bond. And you have learnt in your previous classes, the pi bonds, generally the pi bonds are weaker compared to the sigma bond. Therefore, the carbonyl compounds of aldehydes and ketones, when come in contact with any nucleophile, so generally the nucleophile will affect the pi bond, and the pi bond opens. And one more property is the oxygen present contains a lone pair of electrons. The oxygen in both aldehydes and ketones, a lone pair of electrons, they are also very active, and they participate in most of the chemical reaction very easily just by transfer. And for that, the sigma bond and pi bond, the pi bond is weak compared to the sigma bond. It opens by many reagents, and whereby carbon will get or achieve delta positive charge, and oxygen will get delta negative charge because of lone pair of electron. And that is why it undergo various kinds of nucleophilic reactions in aldehydes as well as in ketones. Okay, and one more point is RCO with a lone pair of unhybridized orbital and having oxygen link. Here the bond angle between the alkyl group and carbon to oxygen, and again the alkyl group carbon to oxygen, or carbon to carbon, that is alkyl group to alkyl group present on the sp2 hybridized carbon, is 120 degrees. So the molecule is 120 degrees, just like a trigonal shape with sp2 hybridized carbon. Okay, so this is the idea that you have to remember. In case of aldehydes and ketone, you have to look into the structure and confirm the molecule is planar, right? And it contains the two alkyl groups or aryl groups, and the bond angle between the alkyl group of the carbon is 120, and R dash to carbon sigma bond is also 120. Another R to carbonyl bond, double bond is also 120. So it is a planar, and where the two pi bonds, p orbitals present on the both carbon and oxygen overlap above and below the molecule as a simplest electronic cloud. Okay, so this is already you learned it, but the one of the important point is this particular molecule will show a peculiar behavior, and the bond angle are approximately 120 expected of the trigonal coplanar structures. Okay, so that is why these molecules play a vital role in the most of the active reactions. As already I have said it, that if you look into the structures, okay, so you can see the 120 bond angle between carbon to oxygen, carbon to carbon, carbon to oxygen, etc. And the pi bonds looks like electronic cloud above and below, as shown in the next diagram, and the bond angle I have explained. And here a trigonal planar structure with 120, 120, 120, and the most important is the structure or bonding is the pi electron of carbonyl group of C double bond O is unsymmetrical, and the electrons in pi bond of the carbonyl group are not equally shared. In fact, they are pulled towards the more electronegative oxygen, and that makes to exhibit oxygen with minus delta, that is the polarity of a carbonyl group, oxygen with minus delta and carbon with plus delta. So the more important contributing structures are possible because of the shift of the pi bond towards the oxygen, making carbon as plus and oxygen as minus with 6 electrons over the oxygen. So that is why these carbonyl group present in aldehyde and ketones have high dipole moment. So dipole moment is generally existing between with the more electronegative and positive charge present on the molecules. So here the aldehydes have 2.3 dipole moment and ketones have 2.8 dipole moment, and because of this peculiar behavior, they are very effective in most of the chemical reaction, and they undergo variety of reaction addition, nucleophilic addition reactions, and they have a lot of byproducts in connected with various reactions that we will discuss later on. Now let us see here. Nucleophilic addition reaction. So what is this nucleophilic addition? As you know, organic reagents are generally consisting of a nucleophile and electrophile, and these nucleophile electrophile are generally formed by heterolysis of carbon-carbon bond, or the heterolysis of, in generally, that bond leads into the formation of a nucleophile and electrophile. For example, I will take a simple example: water. Water is having H2O, H and a bond with OH. So if this bond breaks unequally, H will get a positive charge and OH will get a negative charge. Here OH will be acting as a nucleophile, H will be acting as an electrophile. Okay, so in general, the carbonyl compound containing plus and minus charge is, when come in contact with a nucleophile, you can see here, the O will become negative and carbon will be attached with the nucleophile. When this compound is subjected for further addition of acid, so acid can be H plus, and addition product of nucleophile attached to the carbonyl group and OH group, that is alcohol nucleophilic substituted carbon compounds are formed. Okay, so this generally can be done acid catalyzed reaction, that is you take NuH is a weak nucleophilic reagent when treated with a base. So there is a removal of BH and there is a formation of a nucleophile strong. So in case of base catalyzed reaction, the weak nucleophilic reagent is broken and produced a nucleophile. Similarly, when you look into acid catalyzed reaction, so here first H plus attaches to give CH3OH, and thereby you may get your final product of CHOH nucleophilic addition. So in both acid catalyzed and base catalyzed reaction, both alcohols are isolated or obtained, but the way of approach of the reagent are quite different. In case of base catalyzed reaction, directly nucleophile first attacks. In case of acid catalyzed reaction, the acidic part H plus attack to carbonyl group to produce the carbocation and stable product. Okay, so this is a peculiar method you have to remember. So in some case, what happened? Elimination and addition reactions are also possible with the carbonyl group. For example, a ketone RCOR, when treated with a nucleophile NUH, so there is a formation of RCOHRNH NUH. Okay, this further subjected for or treatment with water. So RCOH is replaced and H is replaced as a water molecule, and the nucleophile will have a double bond. For example, the most of the cases imines are formed by this method. So this is the elimination reaction. Just please try to remember it. Okay, so in general, the mechanism of whatever the reaction so far I have discussed for acid and base is generally understood by this simple concept. Now you can see the carbonyl group, due to pi bond electron, it shifts electron pi bond towards the oxygen. Oxygen will become minus and carbon will become plus. When the nucleophilic agent containing Nu minus and H plus attacks, then what happens? The nucleophile will attack to the carbon, and thereby there is a formation of anion, and this anion further react with a proton to give the OH substituted, a nucleophilic substituted carbon compound. Okay, so this is the general mechanism. You can just understand and remember. Here the thing is, the carbonyl group will show the shift, make the oxygen negative and carbon positive. Later on, the nucleophile attack to the carbon containing positive site, and oxygen will become minus, which on protonation gives the corresponding alcohol, right? Now, when aldehydes and ketones react with hydroxylamine means NH2OH. So this will going to form an CH double bond NOH, that is called hydroxylamines are formed. So the mechanism of this we will discuss in the next episode. Then aldol condensation or addition of aldol. The mechanism of this also we will discuss, but the reaction is very simple. I want to explain it. So when you take aldehydes and treat with an alcohol is in presence of an acid condition. The H of alcohol attached to the oxygen atom to form OH, and OR minus attached to the carbon. So that results into the formation of hemiacetyl. This hemiacetyl is subjected for reaction with another molecule of alcohol. So there is a formation of acetyl, RCOH, OR and OR. So here the two alkoxy groups are attached to the carbon, and this type of product is called as a acetyl. The mechanism of this we will discuss next time. Okay, now let us see here. Reaction with ammonia. So in generally I will write is a NNH2 or RNH2, okay, or R2NH. So any amine attached to the aldehydes or ketones, there is a formation of ROHRNH2, and that is the H of the ammonia will be added to the O as OH, and which on subsequent hydrolysis eliminates the molecule of water, and there is a formation of imine. What is an imine? RC double bond NHR. Similarly, ketones also undergo form ketoimine. Aldehydes will going to form aldoimines. So RC double bond NHR, RC double bond NH are the example for formation of imines by reacting either aldehyde or ketone of the carbonyl group with ammonia. Okay, so example we will consider later on. Now let us see reaction with hydrazines. What are hydrazines? NH2 functional group is called as a hydrazine. When such functional group is treated with the carbonyl compounds of aldehydes and ketones, so the oxygen O and hydrogen atoms of the N will be eliminated as water, and you will get CS3CH double bond NNH2. That is the aldehyde hydrazone. If it is a ketone hydrazone. So that is a formation. What is the water hydroxides? Hydroxides are the compound having CS2CH double bond NNH2. NNH2. So NH2 is a hydrazine, which is very important for the reaction with aldehydes and ketones to eliminate water to form the hydrozones. Okay. Similarly, you can have the other example, phenyl hydrazine. So what is this phenyl hydrazine? Phenyl hydrazine means it is a C6H5NH2. Same NH2. So one of the NH is replaced by C6H5. It is called a phenyl hydrazine. Phenyl hydrazine, when treated with your aldehyde or ketone, elimination of water molecule takes place, and you will get CS3CH double bond NNHC6H5. That is acetaldehyde phenyl hydrazone. Hydrazine will get converted into hydrazone. Similarly, if ketone is there, ketone phenyl hydrozones are formed. So like this, aldehydes and ketones react with the compounds, with hydrazines. Now you can see the reduction of ketones. So reductions of ketones, generally, already I have told you, lithium aluminum hydride, sodium borohydride, or hydrogen in Rani nickel, or some other reducing agents like Clemenson's reduction. All these can be done. Now, for example, when ketone or aldehyde are subjected for reduction, there is addition of water molecule. So, also addition of hydrogen molecule. The H is added to the carbon because the carbon is okay. There is a formation of RCOR HO minus. Okay. Then another proton added, and you will get RCOH RH. So secondary alcohol. So reduction of ketones will give secondary alcohol. Reduction of aldehyde will give primary alcohols, where the addition of hydrogen is done through hydrogen at Rani nickel. So for example, propanone, when subjected for reduction, that will going to produce the anion, and finally you will get a secondary alcohol 2-propanol. Okay, so this is addition of alcohol. Then addition reaction of ketone with sodium bisulfate, NaHSO3. So generally when aldehydes or ketone are subjected for the reaction with sodium bisulfate, there is a formation of addition product, that is acetone. When treated with sodium bisulfite, there is a formation of C6H5 COHCH3 OSO2 minus and Na plus. That is bisulfite salt of the corresponding aldehyde or ketone will going to form. Okay. Then similarly, aldehydes react with sodium bisulfite to produce the same bisulfite salt of a corresponding aldehydes. Okay, so these are the some of the pertaining reactions with the aldehydes and ketones. Now the most important reaction generally we discuss is reaction with HCN. When HCN is added, HCN consisting of H plus and Cn minus. Okay, so Cn minus attached to the carbon and H attached to the oxygen, because O is minus and C is plus because of the structural parameter we have seen. So there is a formation of a product called as a cyanohydrine. So propanone when treated with HCN, there is a formation of a cyano product 2-hydroxy 2-methyl propyl nitrile. Okay, cyano group. Cyanohydrine will going to form. Similarly, when you look into the reactions, addition of cyanohydrine to the aldehyde, the same type of reaction, same type of ketone as well as aldehyde. So HCN, there is a formation of cyanohydrine. Cyanohydrine on subsequent hydrolysis will give you the cyano group to carboxylic group. That is C triple bond N broken, and it will become COH. Carbon with 3 OH group is highly unstable. Again, it will lose a molecule of water to form COH, the carboxylic acid. Okay, so you can have a specific example here that when 2-propanone is treated with HCN, there is a formation of cyanohydrine of the propanone, then which on subsequent hydrolysis will give alcohol containing and carboxylic acid containing product, and elimination of ammonia takes place. Now, if you see here, aldehydes and ketones condenses with ammonia derivative such as hydroxylamine and hydrazine to give imines. So already just I have explained the reactions with certain aldehydes. The same is to be repeated with ketones. So the ketones, when treated with hydrazine or hydroxylamine, so there is a formation of immunocompound. So what are the immunocompounds? Immunocompounds are C double bond N. C double bond N. Please remember. So sometimes the immuno is a new term for you people. So you may get confused what exactly it is. So here, when the C double bond O of aldehydes or ketone react with the hydrazine NH2, the H2 and O will be eliminated as water, and nitrogen attached to the carbon with a double bond. That is R, C double bond, N, NH2, and the last valence is R. So such compounds are known as the imines, and generally these imines are referred as hydrazone derivative. Okay, so with the propanone, the certain example I have mentioned. Reaction with hydrazine. Reaction with the hydroxylamine. So hydroxylamine react with the ketones, and again the oximes are formed. So imines and oximes are quite different. In case of oxime, the NH2OH, right, hydroxylamine, when treated with an aldehyde or ketone, the H2 of hydroxylamine and O of oxygen of carbonyl group will be eliminated as a water molecule, and there is a formation of RC double bond NOH R dash. That is an oxime. Oxime and imine are having a lot of difference. Imines are having RCON single bond, again NH2 functional group. Here, instead of that, RC double bond O N OH and R dash. So this is the difference between these two. Now let us move to another important property of aldehydes and ketones, that is iodoform reaction. When a methyl group containing ketone is allowed to react with iodoform. So what is iodoform? Iodine. How the iodine is formed? When you treat iodine in NaOH, okay, this solution will going to form iodoform. Okay, then this is heated slowly with the corresponding ketone, there is a formation of salt of carboxylic acid, and the CH3 group will be converted into CHI3 plus 3NEI. CHI3 is a yellow colored precipitate which is known as iodophore. So these are the few reactions which already you have learned in your PUC classes, but as far as your syllabus, I have to highlight all these points to you, and then next episode we will discuss the mechanism of various reactions mentioned in your syllabus. For example, addition of HCN, addition of water, addition of alcohol, Kennesaw reaction, aldol condensation, Perkin reaction, so on and so forth. So all these we will discuss one by one next time. So meanwhile, I request all of you, stay at home, use the mask, keep the social distance, and not only you should be stable at home, but you take care of your family. Life is very precious. So to stay on this earth, we have to fight against the corona. So with these few words, I would like to end the topic here, and we will meet next time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.